Okay, friends, I have a lot of you out sick at home, and so you're missing some things, and I wanted to show you what you are missing. This might also help people tomorrow try to do their e-learning. Today, we looked at an assignment where you were supposed to do highlighting with a Grand Canyon article. It was your Friday e-learning. I had a lot of people not do it right or didn't do it at all, so we're starting over again. I gave everybody this article. It's a very short article. See how short the front is with the big picture, and then here's the back. There aren't sets of questions to answer. That's not what we did with it. What we did was we read it, and we wrote our thinker voice. We wrote words and phrases. This is my copy. I've not done the highlighting yet, but we wrote words and phrases all throughout this to make sure that we could understand what we were reading. It's only 443 words. The reading level is 560, so it's pretty much like a 4th or 5th grade reading level, but the thinking that we were to do with it was a little bit more complicated. So I worked with a couple people in small groups on plot and theme, while everybody else read this and did all their markings to show me their thinking. When we were done, we met as an entire class, and then everyone had a graphic organizer like this. It's a storyboard, and we brainstormed stories that you might tell. The kinds of people that they talked about in this article were either rock climbers or trail runners. So those are the characters that we're going to be choosing. You would pick one of those. Basically what we're doing today in class is what we did last week, where you read a nonfiction article and you had to map out all the different kinds of writing that you might do with it. The settings that you might choose based on this article. I had to pull things from this article, and I was pretending that I might have to write them in a story. It mentioned national parks, it mentioned Yosemite, and it mentioned the Grand Canyon. So as a writer, I would pick one of those. And then we had to decide what kind of situation would our character be in a national park or Yosemite or the Grand Canyon. And we said they might be in a competition or they might be attempting to set a new world record. I got that from this article. We are mimicking what you would have to do on iLearn. On iLearn, you no longer plan out stories that you like and want. You read a nonfiction article and you pull details and grab ideas, and then you write a story about them. Look at this. I did not write a full story. I just mapped one out. So the next thing I would have to think about is, what's the situation that my character is getting in that might get in their way? So if my character's in a competition or if they're attempting to set a new world record, I decided that the first problem they might have is they might have an equipment failure. I decided that they were going to get over that equipment failure. They were going to find a new piece of equipment or make do without it. And then the next thing that might get in my character's way is a twisted ankle. But that's not going to stop my character. If they keep going, oh, look. Now we've got the weather complicating the situation. Weather is a setting, okay? A storm rolls in and makes life more difficult for my character. They can't see because of the rain. They're having a hard time because of the wind, but they persevere. They keep going. And then I decided that the climactic moment might be that there's a lightning strike. Because of this storm, that would make sense that a lightning strike happens and knocks down a great big tree in their path, and they have to go all the way around and go out of their way. At the end of my story, we brainstormed that either the character wins or doesn't win, but if the character doesn't win, then we decided that they should learn something about themselves so that they don't feel too bad about not winning. So it doesn't matter to me. So now look, I didn't ask people to write out a full story. I just wanted them to map out a story. So once we talked about that in as a class, we looked at another graphic organizer. Look at this one. This is a compare contrast. I might have to read this nonfiction article, and then I might have to write an essay where I compare and contrast them. And so I put trail runners up here and I put rock climbers up here, and we have to come up with categories. We talked about the activity that we did months ago with eagles and owls. And we put things in groups for, what do eagles and owls eat, and how do eagles and owls hunt, and what do eagles and owls symbolize? So today we came up with these categories. Maybe I want to compare trail runners and rock climbers, the equipment they use, the world records they have, and where you do those activities. But From the article, I could also write a compare and contrast about Yosemite and the Grand Canyon. What things would I compare? Well, I might compare plant life. I might compare animal life. I might compare the landforms. There's your social studies skills come into play here. Then we looked at a T-chart like this. And we decided on a T-chart that you could write pros or cons of trail running or rock climbing. That's good for an argument kind of paper. Maybe you write cause and effect or a problem and solution. These are other forms of nonfiction. So these are the things that I might have to write based on this. Then, in class, we practiced our summary standard. This is a standard we've worked on before. I have subheadings in this nonfiction article. So the first thing I do is take my subheading and I label my circle, Trail Runner Sets World Record. Then I read the piece and I take notes. These were the notes that I took. That the person crossed the 21 miles in the canyon, that they created the fastest known time, that the record became the hopes of runners everywhere. Continuing on, but now we shifted the information. More people want to do this kind of thing. It used to take months, but now it takes days. And then the last paragraph, the person who created this record did it in under 2 hours and 40 minutes. It is one of 3 new records created in October. After I've taken notes on that section, I'm ready to summarize. So I start with the title of my summary. A trail runner sets a new world record. Okay, great. I did that. Now I'm going to try to include as many of these things as humanly possible. Sets a new world record known as the fastest known time. Okay, boom, did that. And is the hope of runners everywhere. Okay, that's one sentence. I'm going to try to write the summary in as few sentences as possible. I don't want one sentence for this and one sentence for this and one sentence for that, because then this summary ends up being the same length as the original. I don't want that. As short and quick as possible. Some of these things have repeated themselves. Okay, and is the hope of runners everywhere? You know what? That's sort of the same thing as more people want to do it. So I'm going to cross that out as if I've already written about that. I haven't written about crossing 21 miles. I haven't written the exact time. I haven't written that it used to take months and now it takes days. So I'm going to try to combine all of that. The runner crossed the canyon in the 21 mile, now I did that, the 21 mile canyon in under 2 hours and 40 minutes. Boom. And now I need to do this. It used to take months and now it takes days. If it's under 2 hours and 40 minutes, then obviously it doesn't take months anymore. So I've kind of summarized that already. So now I just need to say that it was one of 3 new world records in October. Boom. This was one of 3 new records set in October. Okay? I did this in most of our classes as an example. On the back of the entire packet, you have 1, 2, 3, 4 circles. And guess what, guys? There are 4 sections to this article. I did this one already. So you would pick which of these other subheadings would you use to take notes on and then write a summary. Let me refresh your memory. I used the label to start my sentence for my summary, and then I went through my notes. Okay? I think in some of the classes, we even had time to do one of these together, and I gave you a choice, but not all classes did that. So you might need to take a screenshot of this if you don't have it or if you lost it. So I'm going to hold still for a second so you could do that. Okay. And you may want to take a screenshot of this so that you can use that for your notes. Okay. So if you missed out on class, then now you can see what we did, and you can even jump on and do the e-learning. I will see you soon.